Please welcome Regional Vice President, SuiteVerticals, Branden Jenkins.
You must have confused me,
All right. Well, welcome. I don't know about you, but the last 2 days, the last two keynotes have been extremely exciting. When you look at the advancements that we've made in commerce, the offers that we've been making in commerce. I asked where my waving flags were, the free giveaway, but it's all come around our investments to commerce and great customer experiences, and that's exactly what we're here to talk about today. We are talking about digital loves physical and preparing for next generation customer experiences. So we have a great agenda laid out for you this afternoon. Product-based industries like you are undergoing the most significant transformational period ever. If you sell products to consumers, businesses, or both, you're in the right session. I'm going to start with some disturbing yet exciting trends with out with the old, in with the new, to the rapid demands of the next generation consumer. We're going to have 3 fantastic customers come on stage so they can talk about their insights, their strategies, how they're capitalizing on this shift, staying nimble, and enabling great customer experiences. We'll conclude the session with how you too can maximize your brand and, more importantly, your customer experiences with NetSuite. We've all seen the headlines. This iconic retailer closing hundreds of stores, that retailer filing another bankruptcy, and yet the likes of Amazon seem to be on a rocket ship, first-class ticket to astronomical levels. We're left to wonder, is retail dead? Long live retail? These product industries are not alone here. Many other industries have gone through a similar transformation. It's evident with the rotation in the S&P, with over 52% of firms gone since 2000. And many other industries like transportation, disrupted with the likes of Uber and Lyft, to hospitality with Airbnb and Grubhub, media overturned by social media, and technology disrupted by cloud. Who's in the eye of the storm here? Amazon. From them setting the standards, training all consumers that shopping is seamless, regardless of platform or device. Catalogs are seemingly endless. Product is always available. Shipping is free. It's easy. Returns are simple. Amazon is also immersing themselves into our daily lives, providing excellent services, experiences, overall value. Alexa, I can just speak out loud and say, I need this. She gets it here, 2 days, free, no problem. I can enjoy great services with Audible, consume books digitally, music, video. Devices like the wardrobe device to help visualize products from apparel. All of these services are creating great experiences that are influencing our consumers, us, individuals. More importantly, Amazon is understanding more and more about them and how to position and create great experiences for them specifically, for you specifically. Their acquisition of Whole Foods just illustrates their ambition to get closer and closer to the customer and to continue to mold their expectations. 50% of all online sales begin with a search in Amazon. You need to ensure they end with you. Today's consumer will be one with experience, not price. Look at the likes of Bonobos and their guide shop approach. Walk into their store, they have one of everything, every size, every color. But the way that they are able to engage with you digitally and physically and get you that product in any size and any color is a difference. Nordstrom's with their local store approach. Their recent opening of the New York City shop where you can buy online and pick up in store 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Amazing experiences there. Williams-Sonoma and their recent acquisition of an augmented reality technology company so they can enable their sales associate and consumers to visualize their products in their home, in the store, in a more interactive, experiential way. All these brands have something in common: differentiation by experience. Some have innovative products and services to draw you in, where others have experiential spaces where people can gather, learn, enjoy amenities, try before they buy. However, one thing is in common: experience is great, regardless of the channel and touch point. Even with all the headlines, the retail apocalypse, the shock and awe, many, many new brands are emerging. It's not all bad. It's actually very exciting. It's out with the old and with the new. They're engaging with customers in new ways, delightful ways, ways that traditional retailers, distributors, and brand manufacturers could not match. Those unfortunate businesses, which are commonly saddled with technical debt or cobbled together systems, approaches that aren't able to create good or, quite frankly, even acceptable customer experiences, an ability to leverage new business models, and expand their reach globally. We enter the era of modern customer engagement, where brands solely focus on engineering around amazing experiences, ones that focus on blending digital with physical. This digital and physical blending of experiences is expected by the next generation consumer. Call them what you like: the selfie generation, the mobile-first generation, millennial, Generation X. They are today and tomorrow's consumer, disrupting businesses daily. Modern brands understand this digital-savvy customer, yet finicky and demanding, looking for so much more than a product and price, but an experience, an event, a cause, wrapped together with the way that they live, they work, and they play. Their loyalty is not tied to the traditional programs that you offer around recency and spend and frequency. It's around your ability to make it convenient, interesting, a connection, they get me type of connection, that type of feeling. And if you're sitting there thinking, thank goodness I only sell B2B, you need to wake up, because these consumers are in the field at the desk of your customer, sourcing those products, placing those orders, and being served by you and the tools that you enable your staff. When surveyed, over 93% of B2B buyers prefer to buy online. Are you offering that today? So in summary, expect this from your customer. They're unquestionably demanding it from you. They get me. It's all about your ability to curate, personalize, make it relevant, engaging. How do you accomplish that? It all comes down to that view of the customer, a singular view of that customer, a view that's unbroken across that customer's journey, that customer's interaction with your channels, your touch points, your people, your physical people. That single view needs to be available in real time through that journey. Convenient, endless aisles, automatically available, any channel, anytime, anywhere. You have to have an approach that's unified, consistent commerce journey for your customer. And it has to be powered by order management that actually gets the product to her at the right time. If she wants it, she gets it approach, right? You have product in many locations. You have to have tools that are able to leverage that to create great experiences and good customer satisfaction. It's interesting. So much of this comes down to it's interesting. That's the differentiation with Amazon. People come to stores for the experience, that personalization, that high touch. underpinning that is your ability to service those consumers with the right data and the technology to enable your staff. So it comes down to your ability to launch new concepts, new channels, new events, keeping it interesting, being agile, new business models. Do they want to subscribe? Do they want one-time purchase? Is it a try and buy? How do you differentiate? You have to have a modern platform to do that. The days of the boat anchors holding retailers, distributors, and manufacturers are simply over. Modern platforms that don't leave you behind. Ones that have unification across your data, your customer, your item, your order. And more importantly, and I think what you've seen over the last couple of days, is you got to get there quickly. Leveraging leading practices, getting at the 40-yard line. That's what it's all about in today's world. So, in summary, you might have to step back here. Go back to the basics. Get the foundation in place. Have a singular system that is able to be leveraged across these touch points and channels. That's why so many of these startup brands are able to focus on customer experience. In many cases, they're born in the cloud, and they're able to scale and not focus on technology. Many of you in this room are on NetSuite today, and that's great. That's exciting. Many of you are looking at NetSuite. We've solved precisely for this challenge. And you're going to be hearing from customers here in a moment and industry experts today and throughout this week. So with that, I thank you for your time, and I would like to bring up Kelly Scott, Industry Marketing.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Kelly Scott. I am part of the industry marketing team here at NetSuite. My role consists of working and interacting with some of our amazing customers, learning from them, understanding their business processes, seeing how we can enable them for greater growth. There's no way better to reinforce what we just heard from Brandon than to hear our customers that are living and breathing it every day. So let's invite three wonderful customers to the stage: Devin Becker, Tony Drockton, and Kevin Harwood. Okay, don't.
Go for it now.
I can't say I knew that was coming, unfortunately, but
You didn't know.
So thank you guys for joining us. It's amazing to have you, like I said. Before we get started, though, could you walk us through, your roles and kind of a background about your business?
Yeah, so I'm Devin Becker, with VP of Becker Safety and Supply. My other title is SOB, Son of Boss. We are a family-owned company up in Colorado, one location. I handle a lot of the HR systems informations, conversions of the systems, and we're working on e-commerce as well. So that's a lot of what I do is, just making sure that the customer is always first. So.
Yeah. Tony?
I'm Tony Drockton, Chief Cheerleader of Hammitt. We're a fast growth Southern California handbag and accessories brand. Just celebrated our 10-year anniversary.
Congrats.
Great to be here, and I'm also an SOB. My dad was my boss, so. Yeah.
Awesome. And my name's Kevin Harwood. I'm the Vice President of Technology at Outdoor Voices. We're an active lifestyle brand that makes technical apparel for recreation. And I'm responsible for all of our technology products and projects that we have going on. I'm always looking for ways to leverage technology to create innovative experiences. And you might know our brand motto. It's doing things, which is kind of a way of life. It's not bigger, faster, stronger. But get out, be active, take a jog with your friends after work, grab a group and go do some yoga together. And we want to make products and experiences that help enable people to do that. Yeah.
So we just heard from Brandon kind of how companies and that blend of digital and physical. So, Devin, I'll start with you. How are you facilitating that blend between digital and physical?
So with our industry, we're very B2B oriented. It started out, we're pretty much just a warehouse. And it really we kind of turned into retail. People would come to our store and they expect that experience. They expect to have alternative payment methods. They expect to be efficient and quick. But for us, like the need for e-commerce was just a no-brainer for us. We moved from a QuickBooks system and Fishbowl. It was integrated. It was communicating back and forth. You had one system that said one thing and another system that said another thing. And the customer would come in and we would not know exactly what they were doing. Like, we didn't know their sales. We didn't know what they bought. We didn't know what system to look into and if they had new addresses. So moving from that, we really saw the future of the e-commerce. Of everyone that comes in and they ask, "Do you have a website? Do you have a website?" And we're like, "We're B2B. We're a wholesale distributor. We don't is that something that we need to do?" But we looked at that and we had the siloed systems, and looking in the future, adding e-commerce, we just exploded that system. So that's why we chose NetSuite and the SuiteCommerce Advanced. So
Well, it's a common theme we're seeing no matter what industry, the future is turning into that digital world, and we'll hear more about it. But Tony, what about you guys?
Oh yeah, I've definitely embraced, in our 10-year history, we actually were primarily an offline. My business model was to choose to embrace wholesale partners, and we just celebrated 800 locations carrying the brand. The business model has been, non-conflicting, so price parity. We use what's called MAP, minimum advertising pricing. So we really just went online in earnest in the past couple of years. Even though we've had NetSuite for 8.5 years, our front end, we really started pushing direct to consumer in a non-competitive way. The fact that the pure plays are now coming offline fits perfect into my model.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Evan?
Yeah, and for us, it's actually good timing. We actually just yesterday launched a brand new collection for running and jogging. And as part of that launch, we decided to make the product exclusively available in an augmented reality shopping app that we built called OV Trail Shop. And the idea behind that is that we wanted to come up with a way to use technology to encourage people to get out and be active. Sometimes it can actually be a distraction and prevent you from getting out and being active, and we wanted to do the opposite. And so we created these geolocations that we can drop, essentially stand up a digital pop-up store anywhere in the country and encourage people to go to that location. So we did that in 25 cities and 55 locations, and put it in recreational spots around the city. So on a trail or on a soccer field or somewhere where you've got to get out, be active, and go get that product. And you get exclusive access to it for the first 24 hours, which is pretty cool.
And do you have an example?
Yeah, I've got
or
a
say
video here.
Excellent.
I'm going to try to show this here. If we can, I'll try to put that right there and talk about it if you want to zoom in here. But because we can stand these up anywhere, I actually also turned on a Trail Shop in the Expo Center just now, or in Hall C.
That's cool.
Let's see if I'm not shaking my hand too hard there. There we
And
go.
so where were you? Where is this?
This is right outside. This is on the trail in Austin, where we're based. And so it allows customers to come and interact with the product. They can get really close and see the textures and the seams, and even take some screenshots right from in the app. And yeah, there you go, which is great. So we can do a lot of social content with it too. So you can download the app. I turned on a location in Hall C over there after this if you want to go try some augmented reality shopping. I'll have it on all afternoon, which is pretty cool. So just roll up and try it.
And we should download the app.
Yeah, definitely. OV Trail Shop on the App Store if you want to see that. Yeah.
So, that leads us really nicely into our next question. So, Tony, you and Kevin both kind of mentioned, but this movement from online to offline, can you elaborate? I know there are tons of things that you guys are doing with that. Can you kind of walk us through what that's looked like?
Can I take that one?
Yeah, Tony, that's you.
The history of the brand started with really local friends would host us in Manhattan Beach, California, come to the house, wine and cheese, and buy some handbags 10 years ago. That evolved into throwing events twice a year, celebrating our anniversary in an offline way. People would get together at the country club, and it became pretty large and a lot of fun. Then we took all that fun online. The first time we did an online sale was 2 years ago, and we had two-way chat, giveaways, me doing Periscope at the time and streaming to talk about what was happening from our own fulfillment center and in the call center room so people could interact with it. It was fairly successful. And it culminated last Saturday, our 10-year anniversary. I'm happy that we had the most traffic to our site for a 2-day pre-sale. We hit new revenue highs. We did 2,000 transactions in 3.5 hours at the physical event, which was one day after, which we had buy online, pick up at event. And all of it was done through social networking, through our back-end ERP, front-end systems, all paperless.
Wow.
And we processed a lot of transactions. And most importantly, the event itself was, we have live artists, performers, circus performers, body painters, DJs, lots of alcohol because we're in Southern California, and it does help. Some great gourmet food. It's at the Country Club. And if you look at Hammitt, you can download his app and then go to my website. And because this is physical meets digital. It's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. People fly in from all over the country, and it just so happens while they're having that much fun and meeting each other in this community, which is what everyone's trying to put together for their brands, they can also buy some product.
Yeah. For us, we're a majority e-commerce business, but retail is incredibly important to us. And we certainly want to go into markets and essentially be a community hub when we turn on a retail store. So we want to be that place that maybe organizes jogs on Wednesday night or does yoga on Saturday morning. And really be that place where we're encouraging people to just get out and be active and be recreational. And we also want to use our retail stores to help amplify the digital experience. So later this year, we're going to be launching in-store pickup as well as same-day delivery in all of our retail markets. And we're looking to expand our retail markets throughout the rest of the year as well. So we really want to be able to serve the customer both digitally and physically in all of those markets. And there's a lot of tie-in with that together.
That's amazing. So Devin, we'll switch a little over to you. You kind of represent the B2B side of things. Yep. So, with all the changing landscape and new players coming into the field, what are kind of those expectations that you guys are feeling, those pressures that you're feeling? How are you adapting to all of that?
Yeah, it's almost every day. Everyone comes in, they expect to be treated, with the highest customer service, but also have the bells and whistles that all these big players can provide. And our company is only 15 people, but they don't really care that. They don't really care that we only have 15 people, that we have, it's a very small, family-owned company. But when they come in, they don't really care that we don't have a large staff to do development on e-commerce and all these kind of things, or have a large sales staff. They don't really care. They just want to be treated the same way that they would be at these larger stores, and have that personal touch that we can provide as well. So really just focusing on the customer, and what they want, not just really thinking about if you were to switch roles, if I were the customer, how would I want to be treated? Can I pay with Apple Pay? Can I, all that kind of crazy stuff, it's very mobile technology, and just being able to include that into our system and just make it that great experience when people come in, So
this segues nicely into my next question for you, because I know kind of our second half is around customer experience and being able to deliver that, because that is key now. I mean, if you can't provide what you just said, a great customer experience, mm-hmm. They're not going to be return shoppers and they're not going to come back. So why is that key for a brand then? Why do they need to focus on that?
They could shop anywhere, honestly. Yeah. Like if it's all about price, then they could probably go to the cheapest person. But a lot of the stuff that we sell, we are a wholesale distributor of safety supplies and equipment. And so a lot of the stuff that we sell is very technical. And so they can get the product, but if they don't know how to use it, it really doesn't do them any good. They could be, killed, seriously injured. And it's just crazy how, they could just get the product, just go out in the field and do it without any instruction. And, with us, we try to really talk to them and see, what are your needs? What product are you using? And really understand their needs and really train them on how to properly use it. So, with a website, we're adding spec sheets and, live chat so people can ask us questions, always being available on phone, but just being there, in store or online. So, and we're currently working on developing our SCA website. Mm-hmm. So hope to launch that in June. So.
Yes. Yeah. And that'll be a huge advancement for you guys too.
Yes.
So, Tony, what about you guys? What do you, why is this key for a brand?
Well, we can all experience is important, right? But actually following through and making sure that it's what you want it to be. Because my vision of what I want my customer experience to be, it's mine. It's my brands, it's my companies. Ensuring that my staff, that my retail partners, and that my customers that already are fans all share the same experience. It's a lot of work. I haven't solved all of it, but I can tell you one thing. The day when you're a retailer or a brand and you had a physical space, you can control it really well. And then websites came along, and maybe you can look good on a website. We're in an era today where your experience is happening with or without your intention. So we just try to have an intentional way of going about doing business and hope that the fans that follow Hammitt will share that with other people. To me, that's the ultimate experiential retail. And that's not easy to do.
No, and it's becoming very important.
But we're going to keep trying.
Yeah, for us, every time we interact with a customer, we have the opportunity to develop a brand ambassador. And it's really important for us to really be thinking about that holistically as how we interact with that customer. So in the emails that we send, we want to make sure there's playful, humor, at least the brand comes through in all of that communication. Things like when we need to interact with that customer through some sort of support mechanism, we want to go to Facebook Messenger and do that because maybe that's where that customer is at, or have someone ready to reply on Instagram when a comment comes in. Being able to actually interact on the platform that customer wants to engage with is really important. And then think about things like returns. We want to find a way to make that experience as easy as possible for the customer. So we've got the capability of allowing the customer to pick out a new item and ship it even before they've packed up the other one. So just trying to find ways to make it as easy as possible and develop that brand loyalty over time.
Yeah, and you were just mentioning some, do you have other kind of examples of ways that you're bringing Outdoor Voices to the customer?
Really, it's about going to where they're at. And
Yeah.
so we're very active on a lot of different social media platforms. And we get a lot of engagement. I think we'll talk about that in a minute. I've got some cool stories I can share even from yesterday. But just being where the customer is at and almost being their friend develops like the best experience that customer can have.
Yeah. So Devin, you are an SO, son of boss.
Yes.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Yes, you gotta keep it clean. Yeah. SOB.
Yes. I'll just say.
Or VP.
Yeah. So how does that, how do you translate that, family business, very close-knit, how does that, given the future of retail, how will that translate into that online experience? You were starting to mention kind of the new developments, but can you walk us through kind of what that will look like?
Yeah, so obviously we've been in business about 20 years, and so a lot of the business that we've done up to this point is all based upon a handshake and knowing the customer by name, knowing their family, knowing everything about them. And so as we grow the business, we really want to maintain that customer experience where when they walk in, we know their name, we know what they buy, we know about them once they come in. And so we want to treat them the same way that we would have maybe 15 years ago as we've grown the business. Randy started the business out of a backseat of a Mercury Topaz that he bought with a credit card. And so it's truly the American dream of just really growing that business from an idea or in a need and just growing it to a point where we can serve more people by expanding our reach through e-commerce, but not losing our, the stuff that made us successful to begin with.
Yeah.
So really trying to be intentional about when we do our website, what's it gonna look and feel like? People are gonna learn about us before they a lot of times come in. And so, having some creative stuff on our website that really gets them engaged and, they get to learn about us. Yeah, we are a family company. We're pretty small, but we have big capabilities.
Right. Well, and like you just, half of your customers know, about you guys before they've even stepped in, and that's the same, I think, with many retailers out there, which brings me to my next point of social media and how that plays into it, because consumers are, that's how they are using their research now to look into companies. So Kevin, I'll start with you. How is social media playing into your strategy? You said you had some great stories around that.
So OV's social media strategy, there's a big part of it that is activate locally and amplify digitally. And so a real good example of that, yesterday as part of our Trail Shop launch, what we did is over the weekend we kind of teased that the collection was coming and organized some runs from all of our retail stores early in the morning on Tuesday, and set up trail shops within like a half mile or mile from where the store is, and 50, 100 people showed up to each store and went on a run together to the location to then experience the augmented reality store together. And out of that, lots of great social media content was generated. So then the rest of the day yesterday, we're retweeting and interacting and reposting things on Instagram of just regular OV users who are posting this amazing content that allows us to really get out there in front of a lot of different people. And then just kind of a funny example, we turned everything on yesterday, and we had people starting to reach out on Instagram that, hey, I'm in Arkansas, could you turn on a trail shop for me? And we found out where they were at and turned on a trail shop for that person. We had someone from Alaska, and we put a trail shop in Alaska. So as a brand, we're actually able to interact with that customer right there inside of Instagram and do something super personal for them, and develop that amazing loyalty we can get from that long term.
Mm-hmm. Tony, what about you guys?
I'm not social at all, right? I'll give you an example of our event we just had on Saturday, taking it all the way through. So we have a pretty good influencer program around the country, a couple hundred that we activate locally and
amplify digitally.
And amplify digitally. I think that was a note.
Trademark that,
people.
maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to copy that. That's really good. And so what we did in planning for this, the physical event had been established 8 years, very big. The online was relatively new. 1 year, 2 years. So we changed things around. We put the online event for 48 hours, Wednesday, Thursday. Physical event Saturday morning for 3 hours. So we start back on Sunday. I did a Facebook Live announcing for the first time there was going to be something really big that I would tell everybody on Tuesday night at 6 p.m., which was when the online came. And then we had our social influencers magnify my conversation and talk about it. Then we had all the influencers ready to go for Tuesday and Wednesday to shop on our site and to broadcast it visually as they were picking out their. And at 6 o'clock, I came back and said, we're on. Big sample sale, big event, giveaways, charity, community for the next 48 hours. And by the way, whatever you pick out, you can pick up on Saturday, or if you're anywhere in the country, free shipping, all the storyline. And then we turned it on. While it was on, our influencers talked about it. We had two-way chat. We had a lot of conversations. We talked to them through email, whatever channel, messenger that we had. When it was over, we communicated back our charity fulfillment, how we were excited, inviting everybody to fly in for the event. Then we get to the event. We have another bunch of influencers talking about the event physically. Socially, it was a beach bash, because we're at the beach, 60s theme. So we had about 500 women waiting for us to start about 9 a.m. outside of the country club, and brought an old 40s Woody in, a big van, and there was myself and my creative director on super long skateboards wearing beach outfits coming in with the band playing on top, and got out and gave away swag and streamed that on social media. Had a couple influencers, many come, some celebrities, a lot of press was there. The event went off really well. And of course, we talked about it afterwards. Gave $30,000 to charity to the local educational foundation that picked up more social media through giving back. And then we ended the event with just a really big thank you for everybody participating, and thank God the technology worked beginning to end, and people showed up, and that's it.
That's incredible. And so you guys, this will be.
I made all that up. No, yeah.
I know, it's surprising how well this fits into our theme of today. No, but, and you guys, this is a yearly event that you...
Yeah, we celebrate our anniversary every
Yep.
year. So that was our 10-year anniversary, so it was kind of a big one. You got to find a reason to celebrate, whether it's an anniversary, whether it's a launch. I think one of the things up there was find a reason digitally to celebrate and physically to magnify.
Yeah, we had a carb-loading pasta party on Monday before our run launch, which is, we get ready for the
There's
running collection.
always a
Totally
reason to
agree.
celebrate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, but it's our big one.
Yeah, that's amazing. Devin, anything else you want to
Yeah,
mention?
so with us being a B2B, like we have our own Snapchat, like kind of crazy, we even have a Snapchat, just trying to be there wherever the customer may be, if they're on location, they're bored or whatever, they can see what's going on at our store. And we have an annual safety expo that we started about 3 years ago, and we're really pushing that socially, where we're advertising on Facebook. We do Facebook Live of the trainings. We do Instagram posts. We do LinkedIn posts where the customers, wherever they may be digitally, they can experience our brand. And so even Snapchat, like We post stuff of our little mannequin, we call him Mongo, and he has a hashtag where's Mongo, so just being fun with it and just really trying to engage people and just be creative with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to finish up with you guys on kind of some advice that you would give folks for how they would refine their customer experience. I mean, you all have been very successful in what you're doing, and I'm excited to hear, and see what else you guys are doing. But what's one piece of advice for folks here on what that should kind of look like?
So I kind of pull back my experience. I used to be a full-time firefighter, and so one of the things they taught was adapt and overcome. And so being at that situational awareness of understanding what's going around you and figuring out, maybe I have to do something a little different to adapt to this, but not being blind to what's going on in the industry. So just really having that open view of what's going on, be adaptive, really try to overcome those small problems that you may run into, but just really grinding through it and really having the customer in mind at the end of the day. So,
Tony?
I would say, we're a manufacturer, design, wholesale distributor. We don't have our own stores. We have retail partners. I would say the first step is to get out there. That's what I do. I'm spending up till May 15th with stopping by retail partners, spending time on the floor, doing trunk shows, hosting events, talking to our customer, and also talking to the people that are talking to our customers and listening. I get most of my great ideas right from there. And then also, of course, taking a look at the customer service inquiries or inbound, see what's happening there. I think that's the low-hanging fruit of taking any customer experience to the next level. If you haven't done that blocking and tackling, it's pretty hard to pull off what you just talked about.
Yeah.
Right? Because no one will come.
Yeah. I think, for us, it might even be a cliche at this point, but you've really got to be mobile first. A majority of our customers come to us on their phone. And you really have to kind of take the lead when you see a new email that's being designed or a new, part of the website that you're building, like demand to see the mobile version of that first, because it's very easy to build very big, beautiful desktop web pages, but if 2/3 of your customers are visiting you from mobile, they're never going to see that design. So it's incredibly important to be focused on mobile and think about even outside of just your pure website experience. If you're advertising on Instagram or Facebook, be thinking about how those customers are going to move through that journey and actually experience your brand potentially inside of those in-app browsers, and how do they journey end to end and actually come home with products. So being mobile first requires you to really live and breathe it and demand it through the entire development lifecycle.
Awesome. Well, you guys heard it here first, so thank you so much for joining us. So excited to hear about all the successes and just can't wait to see what we can expect in the future. So thank you guys so much.
thank you.
Awesome.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
It's in the end.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. I'd now like to invite Matthew Rodas, Industry Principal and Director, on stage to talk about innovation in NetSuite.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up here. And I honestly can't think of any better customers to highlight and talk about how NetSuite helps merge physical and digital. What I want to talk about today and finish up is on how innovation loves NetSuite. NetSuite has a storied history of working with businesses, companies, and brands that are doing things that are unique and are innovating out in the marketplace. We could go on and on about all the customers that we have that have done some really great and clever things. So what I want to do is talk a little bit more about now, how can we help you as NetSuite customers begin to expand your journey in merging physical to digital and on your way to doing things that are very innovative. So, I know this has already been talked about before, but I'm going to first highlight again the new launch of SuiteCommerce, which is the newest addition to the NetSuite e-commerce family. So this is now a new, allow you to launch new sites and to innovate quickly while lowering your overall total cost of ownership. So this is a much more controlled and thoughtful version of SuiteCommerce Advanced that now has automatic upgrades with absolutely no version lock. Now, we're still going to offer SuiteCommerce Advanced because there is absolutely reasons for taking a site and doing something completely new and something unique using that platform, and that is exactly what SuiteCommerce Advanced is so great at. But for those that either are not wanting to necessarily be behind a couple releases on the version of SuiteCommerce Advanced that you're on, SuiteCommerce is perfect for you. It has all the same features across the whole family of commerce products, as well as, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, the extensions framework that's now going to allow users to easily add new features and functionality. And this is going to be a lot of really good and exciting stuff here that you're going to want to pay attention to. And then, of course, it's natively unified with the NetSuite Cloud Platform, as all of our commerce products are. So, since each one of you that's sitting here today is a NetSuite customer, thank you. And even if some of you in the room are just evaluating NetSuite, thank you. We have, depending upon where you are in your maturity curve on innovation, and I love the examples that we had up here just a minute ago, because each one of them is sort of in a very different spot in their journey to experiential retail or experiential shopping. From being primarily B2B and then deciding that commerce is not something that you can ignore. Tony's great example of being almost a purely experiential type shop that's now starting to take a little bit of ownership and starting to merge a little bit of the traditional retail experience into what they're doing. And of course, augmented reality with outdoor voices, what's more innovative than that? So depending upon where you are in your journey of innovation and where you are in your maturity curve as an organization, NetSuite came out with a very prescribed method that we believe is the right way to consume the products and the features and the capabilities that we have to help you on that journey. So depending upon where you were, traditionally what we would like to do is say start with a basic foundation. And this is really looking at where you need to start with and what you need by day one. For most part, that's where a lot of you are today. So NetSuite is a very broad system. It has functionality and capability all over the place that you can take advantage of. But what a lot of our customers would start to ask us is, okay, what now? What next? I'm on the platform. I have single view of items, inventory, order, and customer, but I need more. I want something else. I want to take advantage of all these great features that you're doing. So we took a look at all the breadth of offering that we had for each of your various industries, whether that's pure retail, whether that's pure manufacturing, pure wholesale, or of course the many ones of you that do a combination of all three. And start to say that then, on top of that, we'll actually layer on a quick follow-on with the phase 2 and build upon that foundation. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today in just a minute. Then, you want to prioritize or basically kind of move those incorporate those nice-to-haves sort of as a phase 3. Now let me define a little bit by what I mean nice to have. I don't necessarily mean that that's not going to be critically important to your business, and I don't mean that that's not the kind of really innovative thing that you're trying to do. What I mean is you can't necessarily start with the most innovative technology without actually having that layered foundation underneath to support it. And I think what you've seen in a lot of examples and a lot of the customer stories that have happened is that if you generally start with this really forward-based experience on the front end, but you haven't done anything to support that on the back end, it's going to fall flat. So this is sort of taking start with the basics, layering that foundation, layering in phase 2, talking about what NetSuite has to help you begin to innovate, and then moving on to those nice-to-haves. So what I'm really excited to talk about is exactly, specifically, what we are releasing relative towards our commerce offerings that you can take advantage of today. As a NetSuite customer, you can begin using this functionality immediately. So what I'm announcing is SuiTeSUCCESS for SuiteCommerce. And just like our ERP implementations, our CRM, HCM, and ERP implementations, following leading practices and our leading and best practices for those particular applications, we have now done the same for our commerce family, layered on top of those leading practices that you've already adopted. So they take into consideration all of the things that we've accounted for already in your base implementation, and layered on top of that functionality right out of the box. All of these are the commerce-based offerings. Some of them can be deployed in as little as 30 days or less. And of course, taking advantage of all of the SEO elements that you'll want to take advantage of. So let's start with the first one. The first one is a pure B2B-based offering. So this is going to have all the pre-built reports, dashboards for a B2B-based business to allow you to control what customers can see what website or what part of the website you want them to see, allow them to log into their account, see invoices, see quotes, convert quotes to order, follow up on their tickets or support tickets and manage the sort of support side of that business, all with a great looking website that allows them to shop, browse, and add products. This is exactly what was given an example of on stage just a little bit ago, talking about how now as a B2B company, if you are in the audience, that you can actually get stood up with a website in as little as 30 days. Next, we've now taken that and given it a B2C flavor. So now this is a very consumer-driven experience, again, with all of the based pre-built reports, dashboards that we're adding into the back end of NetSuite to allow you to go in and look at and report on all the activities that you've done, but also then that great consumer-driven experience for more B2C-like shopping experience. Now, for those of you in the audience that are actually both B2B and B2C, which may be many of you, that means that you can actually get stood up with both a B2B and a B2C-facing website in 30 days. And that is definitely something that can move the needle on your brand. So the next is SuiteSuccess for SuiteCommerce in Store. So I've been talking about this for years. And for those of you that have attended multiple SuiteWorlds, you've probably gotten tired of hearing me talk about SuiteCommerce in Store. And I actually can't say enough about it. It is absolutely one of the best and innovative products that we've come out with in many years. But what we've done now is actually allowed and tailored the implementation of this as well so that you can actually launch this is a physical store, a pop-up store, multi brands, multi-countries, in as little as 100 days. It does take a little bit longer for obviously physical locations because there's hardware, there's actual training involved with your associates and a very thoughtful process of rolling it out if you have multiple stores. But the point is that within a few months, you can actually get to a full retail experience now with SuiteCommerce in Store as well. So I know what you're saying. Okay, you've got B2C websites, you've got this great point of sale technology. Okay, what if I want to do it both? All right, we got you covered too. So what we're announcing as well is SuiteCommerce Retail Emerging. So a lot of times we're working with brands or pure retailers that are coming off of a lot of disjointed systems. So what we've taken is all of those leading practices from and those implementations of the B2C facing website, the physical experience, inventory and order management, as well as the marketing elements of the NetSuite portfolio. And again, putting that into a prepackaged offering that you can get live retail from 0 to retail in 100 days. So when you think about what these offerings are actually entitling you to do, is let you do what you do best. Make a great product, buy the right product, make sure it's where you want it to be, and let us take care of the technology, and then you can figure out how you want to leverage these technologies in order to grow out and create that great experience. What this is also going to entitle you to do is repurpose the people in your business to focus on revenue-generating activities. If launching new brand concepts, if launching new regions, if going from pure online to offline, or pure offline to online and everywhere in between is now measured in days, not months, and certainly not years, that means that all of the individuals in your business can now be focused or turn their attention to, well, how are we going to adopt augmented reality? If that is something you wanted to do, how are we going to adopt a technology that we think is game-changing within our own industry? And if you can get people in your business actually focused on those activities versus the traditional things they would do today, which is just making all this stuff work, you're going to move the needle on the way that you can innovate, and you have now certainly blended together your digital and your physical experiences. So, SuiteCommerce is game-changing. It is now priced right. It is easy to implement. It's easy to manage. And finally, it is easy to extend. SuiteCommerce, as well as SuiteCommerce Advanced, has always offered a broad range of ability to take it and do some really creative things with it. but it hasn't always been necessarily the easiest to take advantage of some of the customizations or some of the things that you want to do to your brand experience. And that's exactly what we've changed on top of this. So going back to my example earlier, if we can get you up on an online experience or an in-store experience in days, and then on day 31 or day 101, you can now go in and start to make the unique tweaks to that you want, leveraging the Commerce Extensions framework. So this is a brand new framework that's layered inside of SuiteCommerce that's going to allow you to eliminate version locks because we are going to automatically upgrade it. So when you are on SuiteCommerce, whether it's B2C or B2B, we are going to automatically upgrade those components, even if you got one of these extensions from the extension store, or download one of the extensions that were built by one of our partners. 2, it's going to enable business users to easily add capabilities to their site. So as a strategy component here at NetSuite, as I've been for the last several years, I get blown away all the time at how much product NetSuite releases. It's unprecedented. It is unlike any software company I've ever worked for or had the pleasure to be involved with. We release a lot of product. But our businesses that we work with and the brands and our customers do everything under the sun. So despite how fast we are able to release product, we're not necessarily able to get maybe the one unique thing you need to make your business work just that much better. And that's exactly where this comes into play. By enabling our partner community, by enabling our NetSuite professional services, and even you as customers to leverage this extension framework to build plugins that you can then drop directly in your site, means that you're going to start to see very hyper-focused extensions that will become available. And I don't mean something specific to retail. I mean something as explicit as soccer store, with a B2B flavor, something to that specific, because we are talking about building hundreds of these. So having those available and knowing that a business user can go in, grab that using the site management tools, drop it directly on your site, and have it auto-upgrade so you don't have to worry about taking anything, code or moving it around whenever you do an upgrade, just means that entire experience is going to be better for you. That, again, allows you to go focus on your consumer experience. And 3, like I mentioned, allow developers, partners, customers, and NetSuite professional services to easily create, publish, and manage these extensions. So this, again, is going to become a huge asset to you and being able to focus on innovation. What's also going to be available are great and beautiful themes. Today, there are going to be 7 of these that are available. But by the time you actually get around to maybe being on one of these, which again could be 30 days from now, you'll see many, many, many more. So as part of that extension store, and as you evolve your brand experience, you are actually able to apply new themes and maybe go on and see some of the newer and updated themes that we've had and decide to do a brand refresh. And we've gone through and designed these to be mobile first. So these are all responsive design. So we've looked to make sure that they have a great mobile experience. We made sure that they have a great desktop experience, and we're starting to get very specific with these as well. So as we're designing these, we're, again, not thinking about it as retail or wholesale. In this case, it's looking at, say, this is the industrial tool theme. Threads is an example of a theme meant for an apparel retailer, health and beauty, home goods. We're starting to design these to make sense for the specific lines of business that you guys are doing. You can take these and then apply your own logo, change some of the color schemes about them, and make it a little bit tailored to your own brand. But having them available means that you can do brand refreshes and updates even that much faster and quicker. And this is all part of the new SuiteCommerce offering. So again, we can't talk about SuiteCommerce without talking about this amazing promotion that we've got going on right now, so I'm going to do it again. So for those of you that have not heard already, if you haven't attended any of the keynotes, we are so confident in this product. We are so sure of what it's going to do for your brand that we are actually willing to pony up and on the NetSuite side, make sure that you can take advantage of it. So the first 1,000 of these that get purchased, we are going to implement it for you for free. So if you haven't stopped by the Commerce Zone to take a look at it, I absolutely would do that today. Work with your account manager if you're interested in taking advantage of this, and they can help you and hopefully get in there before the first 1,000 are gone, and make sure that you can take advantage of that no cost, no charge implementation and get you on your way to actually merging both either the B2B and or the B2C or both experiences of both offline and online and merging those two together. So, as I mentioned before, please stop by the Commerce Zone, take a look at SuiteCommerce Standard, take a look at SuiteCommerce Advanced, take a look at SuiteCommerce in Store. I would also recommend that you stop by the Suite Store. They are running SuiteCommerce in Store through that in-store experience, again, implemented through the new SuiteCommerce SuITESUCCESS for SuiteCommerce in Store. So take a look at that, see about what that experience is and how you like that, and get innovating because it's ready. It's ready to grow. So thank you very much for attending. I hope you learned a lot today. I hope you've learned a little bit about how NetSuite is going to help you as either a brand, a retail, wholesaler, manufacturer merge the physical and digital environments, and then get on your way towards being innovative. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.